Hi, friends. I'm Lori Palau, host of the popular weekly podcast, This Organized Life, founder of Simply Be Organized, and author of the book Hot Mess, A Practical Guide to Getting Organized. For the past 7 years, we've been sharing stories, interviews, and strategies to help you live a more organized life. Whether you're struggling with physical clutter, calendar clutter, digital clutter, or just overwhelmed with the mental load of all the things, we're here to help you every step of the way. We know that one of the biggest struggles many of us face is time, and even finding the time to listen to a 45-minute long episode might not even be doable, which is why we've created this Organized Life Tip of the Week. These short episodes are designed to give you a little boost to start your week off on the right foot in under 15 minutes. This might be something that I'm doing in my personal life that I wanted to share, a tip that someone shared with me that I want to pass along to you, or maybe it might just be a prompt or story to help you think differently about the true meaning of clutter. New episodes of our Tip of the Week are automatically going to show up in your podcast feed on Mondays, and our regular long-form episodes will continue to drop each and every Thursday. Now, if you're new here, make sure to click the subscribe or follow button for instant access to all of our 300 plus past episodes. And if you're already subscribed to TOL, there's nothing that you need to do. Our bonus episodes should already be in your feed. Regardless of whether you just found us or you're one of our OG listeners, I am so happy that you're here. Now, let's get to it. Hey guys, it's Lori here. Hope your week is off to a great start. I am here with our tip of the week. And this is a concept that I started, implementing into my own life without even necessarily consciously making a decision to do it. It's just something that sort of morphed in over time. I never really took the time to sit down and articulate it until recently. And it's a topic that I'm calling selective minimalism. And what I mean by selective minimalism is, there's this big minimalism movement. And it's funny, when I first started my business like 100 years ago, people would say, "Oh, are you a minimalist? Oh, you're an organizer. Do you make us throw everything away?" And I was like, no, not at all. Again, when I started my business, I was a busy working mom with 2 little kids. And although I wasn't like a crazy clothes shopper, that wasn't my thing. I always had stuff. My kids were always involved in activities. We loved to entertain. So I always had things going on in my life. And I believed, and I still believe, that you can be organized without having to be a minimalist. Now, as I've gotten older, my need for accumulation has diminished. My need, or my desire, I should say, for simplicity has gone through the roof, and reducing the amount of physical stuff that I have to even have a mental bandwidth to deal with, whether it's more laundry, more decisions, more thinking about where I'm going to store stuff, all of those things. I don't want that, but that is a season of life that I'm in. And so I understand, for a lot of people, they're in different stages of their life and there are different things happening. And with this minimalism movement that's out there, and again, I think that's great and I love it, a lot of people start feeling this pressure. I've talked to people that have said, I feel this pressure that I should be having less. I should be a minimalist. Why am I not embracing this? And I tell people, first of all, just take your foot off the gas for a second. Just relax, because what somebody else is doing is really none of your business. Just worry about your own backyard. Nobody's worried about you. Don't worry, just worry about what's going on in your own life. But what I tell people all the time is, if you think, if maybe you've been listening to podcasts, or you've been talking to people or reading books about minimalism, and the idea and the concept seems really interesting to you, pick an area that maybe you're not as emotionally invested in, you're not as emotionally attached to, that you feel like this is an area where I would like to reduce. I would like to thin out. And so when it comes to that, it can be super granular, or we can be we can be pretty macro, big picture, or pretty micro, in the weeds. So I wrote down, here are my trusty notes, wrote down a couple of different areas within the home specifically. If you were like, I think I want to test the waters and start to reduce. And so here's a few. Clothes. Again, clothes are a big area. And even clothes, you can subcategorize that. If you're like, listen, I know that I have a bunch of workout clothes. Maybe you just start thinning those out, or maybe pajamas. Like those are things that like tend to just multiply like gremlins. T-shirts, start to thin out certain areas. So look at your clothes and the categories of clothes and say, you know what, if this is an area that maybe I'm not really wearing that much, I don't rotate that much of them. Maybe dress clothes, I don't wear that much. I don't dress up anymore. I'm pretty much wearing like to wear. Maybe you can start practicing by working that minimalism muscle, we'll call it, to reduce those specific areas. So clothes is one. Shoes. Again, I'm not a shoe person, but for a lot of people, shoes are like they're kryptonite. So if that's an area, maybe think of your shoes. And again, we can go even deeper, even more granular, and look at categories. It could be dress shoes, it could be sandals, it could be sneakers, it could be boots, like all of those different areas, and start to work on those specific areas. Third area, housewares. Are you somebody like myself that never met a bowl or platter or a pitcher that you didn't like? And again, places like flea markets and home goods and you know consignment stores and thrift stores are great places where you can go and get these things for not a lot of money. Even like Target and Home Goods, like all of these places, which no shame there, people, they've got really good, fun stuff that make it a very low barrier for entry. So, meaning that it's easy. A lot of the stuff can get just delivered to your house, Amazon, click of a button, 24 hours, you can have it. This too can be yours. And we have a tendency to make those impulsive purchases because it's easily accessible and inexpensive. But the downside to that is that we can accumulate things very easily. So maybe you decide, you know what, I'm not entertaining as much. Maybe I'm in a different season of my life. I used to have people over all the time. Now I don't. Maybe I don't need all of these fill in the blank. So just look at certain areas. Maybe it's kitchen gadgets. Maybe you're that person that you're at Bed Bath and Beyond and you're at that end cap. And while you're waiting, you're like, who doesn't need this state of the art, whatever it is? So again, think about housewares. Another area that some people can look to streamline and minimalize, that's not even a word, minimalize. I'm not even going to try to attempt that, is electronics. And again, electronics, half the stuff doesn't even work. I guarantee you, if you look in the drawer, you have chargers that don't even work anymore. You've got cords that don't even work anymore. I've been in people's houses, again, no shame, no judgment, that have like the old landline, for all you people that remember, like the phone cord that clips into the wall with the little like clear doohickey thing. So all of those cords, cables, all of that, and even like your first generation iPhones, like those cords don't work anymore, people. So go through and just even streamline the stuff that doesn't even work anymore. It doesn't even fit with your particular devices. A lot of times extra, computer chargers, the ports change. So go through and just start to reduce the stuff and eliminate the stuff that just you don't even either know what it is, or that you don't have those, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't apply to you anymore. So just that's another area. Just get rid of it. Gardening, for all my green thumb people. There's stuff that maybe is expired, or I went into my shed and I found potting soil that had rotted just because of the temperature and humidity. Start going through. Maybe you've got gardening tools or other things like that. That just, I don't even know whether it's duplicates that you can donate or just stuff that you don't use anymore. Maybe you have somebody that, maybe you haven't cut your lawn in years and you've got a couple of lawnmowers. I mean, I've had people like that have tons and tons of like yard apparatus, and they have people that come in and do all their landscaping. So why are we even holding on to all this? So think about that. I mean, again, you can donate it, you can give it away, whatever. And then also in that same vein, regular tools. Like, a lot of times I go into people's homes and they have tons and tons of tools. I'm talking screwdrivers and ratchet sets and all the, like, a whole thing. And then whether they have accumulated them themselves or maybe they've inherited them from other people, tools seem to multiply. And if you're somebody that's into tools, a lot of times you don't just have one or two, you've got like hundreds. So if that's your jam and that's your downfall, maybe tools is an area. So I'm not saying that you have to be a minimalist in all of these areas, but maybe if this is something that you're interested in exploring about what this is like, pick one of these areas. And again, I call that selective minimalism. Speaking is a little bit challenging for me today. So yes, selective minimalism, picking an area that you are maybe not that interested in accumulating stuff and just start to see, how do I feel? Like, what does my day look like when I know that I don't have to weed through all of this stuff to get to whatever? And then you'll see if maybe this will kind of mutate into other parts of your life, or maybe not. It is really about walking into the shallow end before jumping into the deep end of a change of a lifestyle. Because again, it's a change of mindset, because it doesn't only affect what is leaving your house, but it's about the choices you make to bring something new in your house. So it's the both and. It's the exiting as well as making that decision of what now gets re-entry. So think about it, guys. Try it out. Test the waters. What area, so the tip is, what area of your life would you be willing to try some selective minimalism? Let us know. I'm very, very curious about this. This is something that I've been fascinated with for a while. I'm very interested in how this impacts you guys. So please tag us. You could tag us at Simply Be Organized. You could tag us at This Organized Life Podcast. You can even tag me personally at Lori Palau. Any of the above will do. And if you want, leave us comments, write in, tell us. Would love to hear your selective minimalism stories. So until next week, I'm Lori Palau. Don't forget, we'll be back on Thursday with another great interview on our long episodes, and next Monday for our tip of the week. So click that subscribe button, leave us a review, and don't forget to share our episode with a friend. Until then, I'm Lori Palau. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please spread the love and share it with your friends. And if this is your first time joining us, make sure to click the subscribe button wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, please leave us a review so other people know that our show is worth the listen. You can also find us on YouTube and Instagram at This Organized Life Podcast. And if you'd like to connect with us, you can head on over to our website at simply the letter B like boy organized.com, which is filled with tons of resources, including free downloads, checklists, links to our amazing organizing partners, and all of our digital offerings. I'll see you next week for another episode of This Organized Life.